ON TV's Game of the Week is underwritten by LOHS Palace Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, servicing Lake Orion's automotive needs since the 1960s. Jets Pizza, offering pizzas, subs, salads, and wings with 2 convenient locations in the Orion area. Camp Bow Wow, providing a fun, safe, and upscale environment for dogs to play, romp, and receive lots of love and attention. Be Zany, fun hats, costumes, toys, and party supplies for every occasion. And Classic Lanes, your home for family fun and family entertainment in Rochester Hills. Pregame is brought to you by LOHS Palace Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, located at 3800 South Lapeer Road in Lake Orion. LOHS Palace has been servicing Lake Orion's automotive needs since the 1960s.
The Dragon Road trip for 2014 continues tonight. Defense of the OAA Trophy, Lake Orion versus Oxford. And we've got it all for you here on Orion Neighborhood Television. Good evening. With Chris Frisching, I'm Doug Corliss. Chris, last year and for the 4 previous years of the renewal of this series, it had always been game 1 on both schedules. This week, it's moved to week 4, but you better believe that both of these schools have had this date on their schedule.
You get that schedule when it comes out in the spring, and you highlight it, you circle it, you know it's Lake Orion and Oxford 3 miles away, and you know it's a big game regardless of when it's played. It can be played in week 9, it can be played in the playoffs, doesn't matter, it's a big game. And bottom line, it's no matter who it is, when it is, how big the rivalry is, you still prepare for the game in the same way, and that's what certainly both teams have done. Obviously, both programs know each other very, very well. So, tonight's going to be not necessarily a matter of what they do schematically, but a more so who can win the one-on-one matchups, who can take advantage of the mismatches that are out there. And when it's all said and done, the team that does just that will inevitably come out on top.
Last year we saw kind of a strange occurrence. Oxford moved the ball almost at will, and something you never saw much of. Glacier Wallington threw the ball in the first half, and Oxford had the lead before the rains came. The next day on Saturday, Lake Orion adjusted and won the game. We've watched Glacier Wallington since he was a defensive back as a freshman with this Oxford team. Talk about his evolution as a quarterback and as an all-around football player.
You know, it's pretty impressive to bring a kid up as a freshman and play on the varsity football squad of any program. He started defensively 4 years ago, a defensive back, and he's continuing to play both sides of the football, both as a starting quarterback and both as starting in the secondary. He's not a big kid, 5'10", 160 or so, but boy, does he manage the game well for them, and doesn't focus on turning the ball over, and knows exactly when to dump the ball off when it's called on. You know, a Bud Raleigh Oxford team, it runs the football. They run power, they run the midline option, and so forth. So, and they run it very well, and Glacier does a nice job of managing the game and putting the team in a chance to be successful. And obviously, to this point in time, they've been successful, starting off 3-0.
Last week against Troy, it was a battle in the first half. Troy moved the ball against Lake Orion, and the Dragons went in at halftime, made their adjustments, dominated the second half. After the game, when we were talking to some of the Lake Orion coaches, they really feel that this game is going to be the barometer for the rest of the season.
It very well could be, and when you look at the tape, when you watch the Dragons' last couple games, they've started off slow, and they can't afford to do that in tonight's ball game. Oxford's playing on a high right now. They get the first time since 2008 they got a chance to go 4-0 to start their season. So this is a huge game for them. It's a huge game for Orion because you don't want to go 2-2 on the season coming out of here. It's a tough place to play, a very unique field, obviously, with the blue turf. But when it's all said and done, Lake Orion's got to start off quick and start off fast, unlike they have the last 2 weeks. If they can do that, we're in for a great football game tonight.
It's Oxford. It's Lake Orion. It's a beautiful night for football. Stay with us.
Pregame is brought to you by LOHS Palace Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, located at 3800 South Lapeer Road in Lake Orion. LOHS Palace has been servicing Lake Orion's automotive needs since the 1960s.
Hello, I'm Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard.
And I'm former Detroit Red Wing Joe Koster.
We'd like to remind you to practice safe boating by knowing the laws regarding water safety.
Please make sure you have the necessary safety equipment on board and be sure all of your equipment is working properly before leaving the dock.
And the probability of being involved in a boating accident nearly doubles when alcohol is involved. Always check local weather conditions, and if you notice darkening clouds, play it safe. Get off the water. Have a safe, enjoyable summer on the lake.
Our first quarter of action is underwritten by Jets Pizza, offering pizzas, subs, salads, and wings, and more with 2 convenient locations in the Orion area. Jets Pizza, a proud supporter of ONTV since 2009. Camp Bow Wow, located at 6374 Sashabaw Road in Clarkston, your premier doggy daycare and overnight facility. Check them out on the web at www.campbowwow.com/Clarkston. And Be Zany, Party Warehouse, offering everything from fun hats, costumes, toys, and party supplies for every occasion. Located at 3970 South Baldwin Road in Orion Township. Be Zany is your home for everything party. Our scoreboard this half is brought to you by Camp Bow Wow, your premier doggy daycare and overnight facility. Check them out on the web at www.campbowwow.com/Clarkston. Replays are underwritten by Jets Pizza, servicing the Orion area with 2 convenient locations. Jets Pizza, a proud supporter of ONTV since 2009.
Just before kickoff, here before the Lake Orion Dragons take on the Oxford Wildcats. Oxford is coached by head coach Bud Raleigh. He's an institution around here. In his 34th year, he is 240, 118, and 1 overall. Last year, the Wildcats went 5-5, lost to Clarkston in the first round of the playoffs, 30-27, and most say that Oxford gave Clarkston their hardest game on the way to a state championship. In the past, Oxford won the 1992 Class BB final. They lost the Class BB final in 1993 and in 1990. So far, here in 2014, Oxford defeated Romeo in Week 1, 28-20, defeated Stony Creek in Week 2, 7-0, and last week beat Troy Athens 56-20. This series goes back to 1950. Lake Orion led the series 22 wins, 6 losses, and 3 ties up until 1983. And as you know, the series took a hiatus until 2010 when the 2 teams started meeting again. And since 2010, the series is tied 2-2. Chris, you've got your keys to the game?
Yeah, I think number one for Lake Orion, we talked about at the outset, get off to an early start, and in really the last 2 weeks they haven't, and as a result they may change it on them at halftime, but get off to an early start, put points on the board, establish that run, which the running game is averaging as a team 409 yards a game, and that's obviously very impressive, led by Matt Krause, who in the first 2 games rushed for 744 yards. Had a bad game last week, right?
Yeah.
115 yards rushing. Yeah, right. Had 2 touchdowns, 5.5 average. But you know who rushed really well last year was number 5, Zach Serzo. 109 yards on the ground, only 6 carries, 18.2 yards. So, and also Keith Fields, 42 yards on the ground. That being said, Oxford, that is, can't focus on one back. There's a number of backs that can do some damage when it's all said and done. Number 2, I think, Oxford doesn't pass the ball a lot, but we've got to limit the yards in the air because when it's all said and done, Lake Orion's given up a lot of yards in the air, and what Oxford will do, they'll lull you to sleep on the ground, and then all of a sudden they'll try to go up top, and that's what we have to avoid happening here. Glacier Wallington was 3 of 7 last week for 67 yards and a touchdown. And then thirdly, I think we've got to certainly contain Glacier Wallington or melt the glacier, so to speak, and stop him on the ground and in the air, and then also stop
Scott Stubenrock, he had 195 yards and 20 carries last week versus Troy Athens. He had 123 yards in the first week versus Romeo. So if we can maintain or corral those two individuals, I think Lake Orion's got a good shot for a victory tonight.
Lake Orion, as we know, lost week 1 to Chippewa Valley. Came back in week 2 and defeated Troy Athens. And last week, as we talked about in pregame, it was a tale of two halves, that Troy pretty much took it to Lake Orion in the first half. And to Coach Bell's credit, they made their halftime adjustments and came out and dominated the second half of play. Lake Orion is going to kick off. We did not see the coin toss, so either Oxford won it or Lake Orion won it and deferred. So number 2, Luke Bevilacqua, will kick off for the Dragons. He of the orange shoes. And dropping deep.
Isn't that an Eagle? No, that's not.
What's that?
I was going to say, isn't that an Eagle song? But that's not Orange Shoes.
No.
Something about who wears these shoes.
Number 27, Scott Stubenrock, is back deep, along with number 23, Anthony Chavez Moore.
I still can't get used to this blue turf.
I can't either. I can't either.
But they like it here in Oxford.
Yeah. Referee blows a whistle. Bevilacqua advances, and we're underway. High end-over-end kick coming back to about the 1. Taken by Chavez Moore. He's up over the 20, 25-30, and up to about the 33-yard line. Brought down by number 41, Pete Welgar. So Oxford will take over. 1st and 10 on the 33.
Yeah, Oxford, we talked about going 3-0, but they got two tough back-to-back games playing Lake Orion tonight, and then they go against next week the defending state champions, Clarkston Wolves. So this is big for them in terms of maintaining what they've done to this point in time, knowing that they've got a tough opponent next week.
Glacier Wallington brings him out, backs in the eye behind him, single wide out to the left. Hand off to the tailback, number 27. That's Stubenrock, and he's up to the 35.
I'll tell you right now, that won't be the only time we see that power play.
Tommy Babbage and Jack Luby in on the tackle for the Dragons. So to bring up 2nd and 8, I just wonder how long it took you to come up with melting the glacier.
You like that?
Yeah, did you think of that on I-75 while you were coming out here?
I had a lot of time to think on my drive up.
2nd and 8 for the Wildcats. Same formation. Handed to the up back. He's free, number 34, Matt Harris. He's in over the 20 and down about, they're calling him down at the 21-yard line.
It's a simple midline option. Wallington turns and looks to a little dive handoff to the up back, the fullback, number 34, Harris. And 6 foot, 200 pounds. He's a nice size fullback, and he scoots his way in through there and finds a hole and gets to the open gap and takes it down to the 21-yard line.
Yeah, he was jammed up at the line and just broke it out to the left, and then had nothing but blue grass in front of him.
Bluegrass.
We're
not down in Kentucky to play on the bluegrass, I'll tell you that.
1st and 10 for Oxford on the Lake Orion 21-yard line. Double wide receivers to the right. Wallington, first man through. 34, Matt Harris, gets maybe a yard. And Chris, on that run that Harris made, I don't know if the Dragons were keying on Stubenrock, but Wallington just handed it off to the up back, and it's like they were waiting for Stubenrock to come through with the football.
Yeah, I said it at the beginning. It's these teams know each other so well. It's not a matter of understanding schemes and so forth necessarily as much as winning the one-on-one battles up front and understanding where you need to be fit defensively within those gaps that you're responsible for.
2nd down and 8 from the 19. I formation in the backfield. Wallington under center. Play action. He's got pressure. Throws. Picked off Jalen Wiggins. Wallington was under pressure, let it go, and Jalen Wiggins undercut the receiver, William Horn, and picked it off. Dragons ball, 1st and 10.
Yeah, a great penetration and pressure by Pete Weglars, number 41, and Jack Luby provided the pressure, and Wallington had that ball loose as the pressure's coming and tried to force that ball kind of across his body. Wiggins stepped in front and made the interception. He had a big interception last week that set up a score. Hopefully the Dragons, they can convert offensively. Great turnover, big time for the Dragons.
Matt Krause in the backfield. He gets a toss, coming left, got a hole up to the 20-yard line, gain of 8. Nothing cute about that. He just took the ball and went around the left end. And again, we talk about sealing off the end, and Matt got that and got another 5 yards out of it.
Yeah, and he's also, you get him on the perimeter as hard as he runs, as fast as he is, and it's a great makes play calling on 2nd and short a lot easier.
Cameron Costas is the quarterback. Motion number 3. Keith Fields gets a ball, and he really goes nowhere. He's dropped maybe a yard gain. Let's see if they call it. 1st down, Dragons. We have an east side officiating crew tonight. Dennis Waddell is the referee, and we'll get to the rest of the crew after this play. Costas coming up under center. 2 wides, motion coming, and we have a flag. Let's see. Dead ball. Referee Dennis Waddell is mic'd tonight, so we can hear his call. That was encroachment on the defense. That'll make it 1st and 5 for the Dragons. One wide out to the left. Number 80, Nick Fox, split wide to the left. And we have another flag. And it's the same thing. Encroachment.
When you look at the statistics tomorrow, you see, 1st downs by penalty. Those things start to add up. Those really get under your skin if you're Coach Rowley and the Wildcats.
It looks like either the left defensive end or the cornerback was lining up on the line. Costas draw play to Matt Krause. Over the 20, over the 35 to the, they're going to call it about the 35.5-yard line. Gain of 3.
It's one of those things where you saw Matt going through there on that little draw play, really doing a good job of securing the football. As good as he's been through 3 games this year, he has fumbled the ball 3 times. So I know that they were stressing that all week long here in practice, and will continue to do so.
They're calling it 2nd and 6. Trips to the left. Handoff to Matt Krause up the middle. He's up near to the 40.
Third and short.
That brings up 3rd down and 3 for the Dragons. We have to do a little housekeeping up here in the booth. Coach Ron Slawinski comes up and says, hey, we can't hear. Matt Krause through the middle. He's got a 1st down and more up to midfield. So let's see if we can get this to work up here. Except I just lost my roster here. There it is.
That was number 25, Matt Krause.
Thank you. Nice article on Matt in today's Detroit Free Press, and sports writer Mick McCabe said he is not only a running back, he is the running back, except here goes number 5, Zach Serzo. Got about 11 yards, call it 15 yards, up to the Oxford 35-yard line.
Yeah, and Zach does a great job with vision. He's always, his head, you say we call is on a swivel. He's always trying to find the next hole, the next cutback lane. He got into the open field and unfortunately got tripped up by his own lineman, Austin Jones. But nonetheless, first down, Dragons.
1st and 10, Kraus on the carry. Brought down by number 50, Andy Snabel, after a gain of about 3. So that brings up 2nd down and about 7. Ball's on the left hash. Double wide, double slot, motion across. Number 3, Keith Fields again on the carry, and he may have lost about a yard.
Yeah, Glacier Wallington in on the stop there. Brings us a third and long. Lake Orion comes into the season converting 45% on 3rd downs this year.
So 3rd down and 8, ball's on the 32, just about in the middle of the field. Kraus lone back in the backfield, trips to the left. Toss over to Matt Kraus, and he's not going to make it. They got him for no gain.
Yeah.
Brought down by number 25, John Patrick.
Yeah, just never could get to that second level, the linebacker, and Patrick comes, scrapes over the top, attacks downhill like a good linebacker does, and makes a nice play on Kraus, and brings up a situation where, based on where you are on this side of the field, it's as you see right there, Lake Orion's going to go for it.
4th down and 8. And Lake Orion's going to call timeout. Finish our officiating crew. As I said, it is an East Side crew. Dennis Waddell is the referee. Tim Curtis is the head linesman. Brian Hopp is the line judge. John Folsky is the umpire. And Cecil Haggard is the back judge. It's kind of nice to have the referee mic tonight. We don't have to guess what the signs are. When we get a minute, we will go through the OAA standings. A lot this week, but boy, next week is going to be a pretty thrilling week in the OAA Red.
But as it seems, as we always talk about, it's community atmosphere wherever you're, whether you're at Orion or we're here in Oxford or just it's high school football. We're at Michigan. It's the fall. It's just what a great time, a great way to kick off an exciting and an enjoyable weekend.
4th and 8 for the Dragons. Costas back to pass, looks, throws, picked off. Number 23, Anthony Chavez Moore.
Yeah, that's only the 14th pass that Lake Orion has thrown all year long through now 4 games, and 2nd interception by Costas. But there was at one point in time there was just a little hitch, and that little hitch by Costas allowed for Chavez Moore to break on that football, get inside the curl route, and intercept the ball. Probably should have just knocked it down when it's all said and done, but nonetheless, Wildcats take over.
I formation in the backfield.
There's that power play.
Number 27, that's Strubach. He's over midfield to the 40, to the 35, and run out of bounds by number 28, Aaron Hughes.
You know, a lot of things certainly happened up front to allow Stubenrock to make the big yards on that power play. He did a nice job cutting back near the line of scrimmage, but Dallas Pruitt, number 1, did a great job of blocking Fields downfield, and it allowed for at least 10 more yards to get inside Lake Orion's 40-yard line.
Have a timeout called.
It's that power play.
No, we don't have a timeout called.
Power
Wallington,
again.
Steubenrock again. Gain of about 3. And Chris, that's been 2 big chunk plays that the Lake Orion defense has given up already.
Yeah, and you know, coming into the season, you're coming into tonight's game. You know, Lake Orion's given up 15 plays of 20 yards or more, and so those are things defensively that frustrate you. You know, giving up those, like you said, big chunk plays, and you certainly don't want to do that.
I formation. Steubenrock's a deep back. Wallington under center. Handoff again, and this time he's brought down in the backfield. Nice play by 33. I don't have a 33 on my roster, do you? 23. Let's make it number 23, Jack McClear. That's better. Well, we do have a number 23 on the field, but I don't have him in. Oh, yeah, we have a number 30. Did we have a number 33 out there? Probably not. 3rd down, 10 yards to go for Oxford. Quick hit, Wallington on the keeper, and he's going to get maybe a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Brought down by the middle of the line, and number 10, Bay Smart, coming up and making the initial hit.
Same type of situation Lake Orion was in on 4th down earlier. You're kind of in that mid-range where you're too far or too close to punt, and you're certainly too far to kick an extra point, or I'm sorry, field goal. But you know, the ability to go for it right now is. But you know, it's a big stop, big play if Lake Orion can come out of this with the turnover on downs, because they, you know, like you said, 2 chunk plays they've given up.
2 tight end look for Oxford. Number 1, Dallas Pruitt, split wide to the right. Number 34, Matt Harris, is the up back. And he gets up. Little option toss, and they're going to be short of the 1st down. So Dragons hold on downs. They'll take over at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, they just run that little dive option, you know, with Harris being the dive back, and they pitch out to Steubenrock, and they run it to the short side of the field, which doesn't give them a lot of room to run, but Lake Orion does a nice job of containing and forcing Steubenrock out of bounds. They take over 1st and 10 at the 30.
Yeah, they didn't overly commit to either Wallington or to Steubenrock. So Dragons take over 1st and 10 on the 30. Trips to the left, motion. And Kraus gets the ball. He's up near the 35-yard line. They're going to call him down at the 34. It'll be a gain of 4, bring up 2nd and 6.
You know, when it's all said and done, the way these 2 teams play offense and have this year running the ball, this might be a fast game.
Doesn't surprise me. It's being played between the 30s for the,
That's right.
In the 1st quarter. 2nd and 6 from the 34. We're in the 1st quarter, 1:30 left. So, yeah, it has gone quick. Draw play, Kraus, and he's met by number 25, John Patrick, and dropped after a gain of about 3.
Seen 2 big hits by Patrick coming from that linebacker spot, 5'11", 190, real good size linebacker. He's a junior, and you know, it's tough to take on a kid Krause's size. He, you know, about the same size, but he runs hard. He runs with that lean, and Patrick did a nice job there of making that open field tackle.
3rd down and 3. 5 wideouts for the Dragon. Kraus is in a slot left. He comes in motion, gets the handoff, coming around right end, and he's going to be, it's going to be just short of the 1st down, 4th and 1. That's 2 plays in a row I've seen where he takes the initial hit and almost gets spun around and goes, you know, does his last lean backwards. So 4th and 1 for the Dragons.
Yeah, that's what good running backs will do. Is they'll we've talked all the time about running with that body lean, and
full house.
Oh,
good run by number 4 Logan Shadiah. He had an opening and just got tripped up, but has the first down for the Dragons.
And that's one of those things Lake Orion does well, is that they come out in that quick full house backfield, and they come out of that huddle, they break that huddle, they get to the line quick. They're very disciplined in when to go on, and he oftentimes forces that defense to not be as prepared, and it paid off that time for the Dragons.
Timeout. That's the end of the first quarter, and it was a quick one. We played one, no score. You're watching exclusive coverage of Lake Orion Dragon football here on Orion Neighborhood Television. We'll be right back.
Our first quarter of action is underwritten by Jets Pizza, offering pizzas, subs, salads, and wings, and more with 2 convenient locations in the Orion area. Jets Pizza, a proud supporter of ONTV since 2009. Camp Bow Wow, located at 6374 Sashabaw Road in Clarkston, your premier doggy daycare and overnight facility. Check them out on the web at www.campbowwow.com/Clarkston. And Be Zany, Party Warehouse, offering everything from fun hats, costumes, toys, and party supplies for every occasion. Located at 3970 South Baldwin Road in Orion Township. Be Zany is your home for everything party. Our scoreboard this half is brought to you by Camp Bow Wow, your premier doggy daycare and overnight facility. Check them out on the web at www.campbowwow.com/Clarkston. Replays are underwritten by Jets Pizza, servicing the Orion area with 2 convenient locations. Jets Pizza, a proud supporter of ONTV since 2009.
Hello, Lake Orion and Oakland County. This is Sammy Termina here, talking a new show here called OAA Now. We're going to talk about sports from football to basketball to volleyball to track and field to soccer, cross country, etc. here on OAA Now on ONTV.
Just at the start of the second quarter, no score, Lake Orion and Oxford. We will remind you that DVD copies can be purchased by calling ONTV at 248-693-3377 or 248-393-1060. For only $10, you can get a copy of not only this game, but any game or program in our broadcast vault. That's DVD copies, 248-693-3377 or 248-393-1060. First and 10 for the Dragons. Kraus on the carry. Gets maybe 4 over the right side. Tripped up by number 34, Matt Harris. And that's another thing, Chris, and we've seen it before. A lot of these Oxford players will play both ways. That might tell later on in the game. Full house backfield for the Dragons. Second down. Surzo on a quick hitter. And he's up near a first down, maybe a yard short. It'll bring up third and less than a yard for the Dragons. Dragons going quick. Full house backfield again. Surzo again. He's got an opening. He's down to the 30. Oh, I'm sorry, number 4, Logan Shadea. They're all in white. Number 4, number 5.
Logan had only 1 carry last week versus Troy. He's had 2 huge runs tonight versus Oxford.
First and 10 for the Dragons. Shadea again. He gets maybe 2.
Maybe 6 foot 225. Good sized kid. I mean, one kid you certainly I wouldn't want to get in front of somebody like that who runs as hard. And that's just it. We talk every game, it seems like, about the size, the speed, the attitude that these Lake Orion running backs run with.
Matt Kraus around right end. He's inside the 20 to the 19.
and you see it right there too. Just the body lean, the vision, again, I call it attitude, running attitude, and you just see it out of these guys.
Third
time
down,
in, time out.
3rd down and 4. Dragons go full house. Matt Krause vaults a defender, got a first down inside the 15 to the 14-yard line.
Boy, there's just been a couple times today on the play earlier towards latter part of the first quarter. That play there, you're one guy away from breaking it free, and nonetheless, Dragons take first down.
1st and 10. Krause again. This time he gets wrapped up, brought down by number 80, Matt Marney. And he just got Matt Krause in a bear hug and just went backwards.
Orion's come out in this full house backfield. What does that tell you? It tells you that, you know what, Dragons are saying to Oxford, all right, come stop us. We think we're more physical than you. We think with our misdirection and our backs and our line up front that we can just outman you. And that's what they're showing right now in this drive. And it's, as soon as I say that, they go to 3 wides,
Of course. Double Y with a slot receiver. Matt Krause gets the carry, and we got flags on the play. We will check with referee Dennis Wendell. And it's a false start against the Dragons. That'll back them up 5.
Yeah, that's another thing that I know the Dragons were, and Coach Bell were very discouraged about through 3 games. 26 penalties in 3 games, almost 9 a game, and just very uncharacteristic of what the Dragons have done, and you need to eliminate those as best you can, especially false start penalties. That's inexcusable.
Dragons go back, single back, motion man number 5. Zach Serzo gets the toss, and we got a flag. And usually, if that happens, it's holding on the edge blocker. And he had a good carry. Again, he vaulted it back to get down inside the 10, and it's coming back.
I believe it's on number 84, Ryan Wood. And when you run that toss play to the wide side of the field, that's a long time for a wideout to be able to hold that block. And inevitably, as that defensive back's trying to get off that block, you get the hands outside the framework of the body, and then they're going to call that.
Or you end up hooking him in an arm or something, yeah. Double wide, double slot look. Sir, little toss back to number 3, Keith Fields. He was closed on immediately, but still managed to get about 3 yards on the play. Anthony Chavez Moore in on the tackle along with Matt Harris. We've called his name a lot tonight. So it's 3rd down and 20 from the 24-yard line.
Yep.
Well, Zach Serzo took the toss, and I think it was one of those cases where you're running and you're looking where you want to run and not securing the ball.
Yeah, I mean, you see blue turf out in front of you, and you don't look for the football, and when it's all said and done, again, we've called his name already a number of times, but John Patrick scoops up falls on the football, turnover Dragons.
Ball's on the 33-yard line. Oxford takes over. Handoff to number 27, Stubenrock, Scott Stubenrock, and he gets about 5. I think they're going to call it 4-yard gain, bring up 2nd and 6.
Yeah, so a turnover each way really has obviously halted 2 potential scoring drives, and both teams got into each other's end of the field, and as a result, miscues offensively, and we got us a 0-0 ball game still.
7:30 left in the first half. Wallington under center. Handoff Steubenrock again. And he got a gain of about 3. They're going to give him 4, brings up 3rd down and 2. You know, you mentioned about the number of passes that Lake Orion's thrown this year. When you and I have been around this program a long time, did you ever think you'd see a point where there was only like 20 passes thrown for the year?
Not even.
Steubenrock again, through the middle, 1st down, close to midfield. Brought down in the backfield by number 13, Jalen Wiggins.
You know, we talked about Steubenrock at the outset too, and he's certainly not a big back. They list him at 5'6", 150. So it's a situation where defensively it's very difficult to find a guy that slight, and he runs the ball hard, and a key 1st down for Oxford.
1st and 10 for Oxford. Wallington on the keeper, getting chased, getting pressure, slips a tackle, and is down over midfield.
He just eluded Shadea's.
Number 23, Jack McClear. Number 41, yeah, I got him here somewhere.
Had an opportunity for about a 3-4 yard loss, but
Pete Wellgards.
Yeah, he eluded Shadea's penetration, and you know, Glacier holds that ball awful loose as he's rolling out, and that's if you get an opportunity to aim for that ball, knock that ball, strip that ball out, rake it out, whatever, should take advantage of that.
So 2nd and 6 for Oxford. Wallington under center, backs in the eye, handoff to Steubenrock, and he got his forward lean going, and number 49, Jack Luby, brought him down. So that brings up 3rd down and about 4. Third down and 4, ball is close to the left hash.
Opponents on the year against Lake Orion come in converting 36% of their 3rd down conversions.
Wallington hands off to Steubenrock, and he went to cut back and slipped, and Jalen Wiggins was right there to secure the tackle, and it looks like he's got enough for the 1st down, and they call it 1st down and 10 for Oxford. And both teams seem to be able to move the ball on the ground. Neither team has punted, and we got 5:30 left in the first half.
Would you expect anything different?
No, sir. Ground and pound. We've called it before with Coach Raleigh. Wallington, Steubenrock around left end, brought down number 45, Tommy Babbage, with penetration. Brought him down for about 1.5 yards loss, brings up 2nd and 11.
You know, as you look at the line, Lake Orion defensive line, you know, the ability obviously to corral Steubenrock and Wallington and even Harris on the ground when he runs the ball from his fullback position. You know, penetration obviously is key, and in Lake Orion you see that wall of white inside or past the line of scrimmage. You know, brings up a big 2nd down, 2nd and 12 for the Dragons.
No change in the offensive formation for Oxford. Wallington, quick pass, got it. Number 16 is Adam Schlicht, and he broke the tackle of number 10, Bay Smart, and got enough for the 1st down.
You know, it's a big. I mentioned it was a big play, play for the Dragons on 2nd and long. You know, and we talked about, Oxford lulling you to sleep offensively with the run, and all of a sudden, boom, they throw a little hitch route to an open receiver, and they get a big first down. And so now they got Lake Orion thinking about, okay, we got to be cognizant of both.
One wide receiver. Stuvenrock again. He's initially hit by Jack McClear and finished it up by Jack Luby. So that brings up 2nd and 7, gain of 3. Ball is just outside the 28-yard line. Number 16, Adam Schlick, splits out wide to the right. Stuvenrock again. Hit by Logan Shadea. Dropped after about a gain of 3. It'll bring up 3rd down, and it looks like 4 from the 26-yard line.
Good crowd here tonight on both sides of the field. Way back in the end zone, up near the school.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. People have their blankets spread out on the hill across from us. The stands here are packed. So 3rd and 4 for the Wildcats. Wallington keeping rolling.
Boy.
He's got room. Evades one tackle, 10-5 touchdown.
Great play action fake. Well done. Wallington.
Well, not only a great play action fake, but the Lake Orion linebacker got frozen. He got frozen in his tracks, and you can't do that with someone that's as evasive as Wallington is.
Had all green and white flowing one way, and does a nice job of pinning that ball on his hip and run it in from 30-plus out.
Number 9.
25, excuse me, 25.
Number 9, Noah Grove, is in for the extra point. And number 13, Jalen Wiggins, jumped. So it's going to be half the distance.
Yeah, that's another one of those big plays you keep stats on, and those 20-yard plus plays that you give up defensively, they just can't have happen. And credit to Oxford that time for the play execution.
Kick is up, and the kick is good. 2:55 left here in the second quarter. Oxford 7, Lake Orion nothing.
Go mobile with ONTV anytime. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube on your mobile devices. Connect with ONTV to see what's happening in our new studio, see upcoming events, and watch ONTV programs in high definition on demand. ONTV, working to bring Lake Orion to the world.
67 yards in 10 plays for the Oxford touchdown. Glacier Wallington on the run. And you're right, that was a great play action fake. A great bootleg around to the left.
Well, I mean, again, what does it all start with? That whole drive started with a Oxford turnover, or I'm sorry, Lake Orion turnover.
Lake Orion turnover.
And so
right.
They took advantage of it, converted, and thus we have a 7-0 score.
Matt Krause is back deep for the Dragons, along with number 4, Logan Shadaya. Little pooch kick taken by Zach Cerzo up front, and he's tripped up as he gets to the 35-yard line. So the Dragons will take over 1st and 10. They've got the ball marked on the 36.
Lake Orion in that early part of the second quarter did a nice job of moving the football out of that full house formation. Let's see if they get back to that, even though we're under 3 minutes and only 2 timeouts left before the half.
Bunch formation, only one wide out. Motion coming across. Number 5, Zach Surzo on the carry. He's got about 5. They're going to give him 4. Oh, they gave him 5. I'm watching where the line judge comes in, and it's the head linesman's call. So it brings up 2nd down.
Drake Berry coming from his safety position in on the stop.
Ryan Wood split wide to the right. Kraus up the middle. He had daylight. He's got a 1st down up to midfield. Nothing fancy, just went right over left tackle. So 1st and 10 for the Dragons at midfield. Kraus again up the middle. And number 50, Andy Snabel, on the stop for Oxford. Brings up 2nd and 7.
That's one thing that again, we talked about before. Defenses can't do a lot of it, and you saw the Wildcats substitute 3 guys in there when they run. Lake Orion runs that no-huddle offense. It's very difficult to substitute guys in a situation to keep them fresh.
And we have a timeout taken up. Encroachment by Oxford. That'll be 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 2. And we've talked over the years, these are the kind of situations Coach Bell loves. 2nd and 2, he feels he can just about do anything he wants. And they come out in a double wide, double slot look. Motion.
There's the
throws
seam.
Deep.
There's the seam.
Caught. Zach Surzo split the defensive backs, made the catch, got it inside the 10-yard line down to the 9.
Very similar play, if not the same play as last week when they hit Surzo right down that seam. And it seems like that ball both times, last week and this week, kind of hangs a little bit. And if Costas could get that little bit more air into that ball, that allows Zach to, maybe Zach's just that fast. That could very well be too. Nonetheless, big play for the Dragons.
Kraus inside the 5, down to the 3. Time running down, 1:04 left here in the first half. Dragons looking to tie before the half.
Get house personnel for the Dragons coming into the game.
45 seconds left to go. Dragons took a little time getting the play in. Cameron Costas went over to the sideline to get the play. Full house. Did he get in? Did he get in? Nobody's called. No, they're calling 3rd down. He did not get in. Matt Kraus on the carry down to about the 1.5. 15 seconds left. And now we have timeout taken by Lake Orion. That's their 2nd of the half. The clock expired, but there we go. They put 13 seconds back on.
Matt Kraus has 10 touchdowns on the year and 4-4-2 in the first 3 games. So,
well, what's impressed me is the Dragons have answered Oxford's touchdown drive with one of their own.
Let's hope it's a touchdown drive.
Highlighted by the pass from Cameron Costas to Zach Surzo.
Again, as you see, quarterbacks, both of them, they're both teams are so good running the football. They can pick and choose when they want to put the ball in the air, and you got to be successful when doing that. So far, that both teams have.
Full house for the Dragons, and number 4, Logan Shadaya, in for the touchdown.
Logan's 2nd rushing touchdown of the year.
So Luke Bevilacqua will be in for the extra point. Number 84, Ryan Wood, is the holder. High snap, ball's down, ball is up, and the kick is good. 10 seconds left here in the first half. We're tied at 7. So if you ever wanted to make your own TV show or operate a camera for a live sporting event such as the Happy Crew we have here today, well, ONTV can make it happen. Your first step, though, is to sign up for orientation. It's free and offers you a look behind the scenes of ONTV. Call 248-693-3377 or 248-393-1060 for more information. 64 yards in 6 plays for the Dragon touchdown. Again, highlighted by the pass, and you can't say enough about Zach Surzo splitting the defenders and just having the speed to get that separation.
You know, what do good teams do? You answer a score with a
score.
With a score. Yep, and
Bevilacqua will kick off. Steubenrock back deep, and this is coming up to the up back. And that's number 23, Anthony Chavez Moore. He brings it out to the 40-yard line. We have 4 seconds left. Ordinarily, you would think that a team would take a knee and go into the half. And that's precisely what Oxford is going to do. Wallington takes a knee. The final seconds tick off, and we are at the half, tied at 7. Lake Orion and Oxford, defense of the OAA trophy. You're watching exclusive coverage of Lake Orion Dragon football here on Orion Neighborhood Television. We'll be right back.
Halftime is underwritten by Classic Lanes, located at 2145 Avon Industrial Drive in Rochester Hills. Classic Lanes is your home for family fun and family entertainment. Visit them on the web at myclassiclanes.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Bouchard, the Oakland County Sheriff. There's a big problem that faces all the communities in America today, and that's abuse of legitimate prescription drugs. Sometimes they're left in the home when a loved one passes away, or they're in the medicine cabinet for someone else, and a youngster in the home steals it and they abuse it. It's one of the fastest growing drug abuses that we see in our community and across the country. Secondly, we see these drugs oftentimes when they're no longer utilized being flushed down the drain, and we're seeing higher levels of residual pharmaceuticals in our waterways and our streams. So, to solve 2 problems with one effort, we partnered with Home Instead Senior Care to start a program called Operation Medicine Cabinet to get those drugs out of the homes, out of the hands of youngsters, and out of the waterway, and safely and environmentally destroy them. Learn more about the program at OperationMedicineCabinetMI.com and be part of the solution. Thank you.
Halftime is underwritten by Classic Lanes, located at 2145 Avon Industrial Drive in Rochester Hills. Classic Lanes is your home for family fun and family entertainment. Visit them on the web at myclassiclanes.com.
At halftime, Lake Orion and Oxford tied at 7. Doug Corliss, Chris Frisching with you this evening. And Chris, you've got the halftime stats, and this is like, as Yogi says, deja vu all over again. We were tied at the half last week. We're tied at the half this week.
Yeah, no scoring in the first quarter tonight. Both touchdowns scored in the second quarter tonight. Oxford let it off, 2:55 to go in this second quarter. Wallington touchdown run out from 26 yards out to put Oxford up 7-0. Lake Orion counters that and drives it, and scores with 10 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Shadiah 2 yards out, 7-7 at halftime. You know, it's the score is even at 7. You look at the stats; they're pretty even as well. Total offense for Lake Orion, 162 yards. Oxford, 165 yards. Lake Orion, 2 of 3 in the air. Oxford, 1 of 2 in the air. So as you can see, the ball is a quick first half, as we talked about. They're obviously running the football. Lake Orion had 2 turnovers. The one turnover led to Oxford's first touchdown, interception, and a fumble as well. Individually, Matt Krause, 18 attempts for 71 yards, leads Lake Orion on the ground. And for Oxford, Scott Stubenrock, 13 carries for 74 yards and 5.7 average. So, again, even on the scoreboard, fairly even statistically, excuse me. And I would anticipate, if Lake Orion comes out like they did the last two second halves, hopefully, like you said, deja vu all over. They kicked off that second half, that started that third quarter, and put some big points on the board the last two games. So hopefully for the Dragons' case, they can do the same here.
Yeah, the Dragons have shown that they can move the ball through the air. Zach Surzo, we talked about it, that great catch in the second quarter where he split the two defenders, had the speed to get separation, made the catch. So the Dragons can move, but you still go with, as they say, you dance with the one that brung you.
Yeah.
And Matt Krause has got him this far.
That whole offensive line, and Surzo and Fields periodically, and Shadia's running the ball well tonight, and he's got 4 carries for 30 yards. He's got the lone touchdown for the Dragons. So when it's all said and done, Lake Orion has been effective in the past, picking and choosing when they throw the ball. They're 10 of 16, and in years past, you'd say 10 of 16 for a half. Passing? No, 10 of 16 for the entire year. For the entire year.
Yeah.
So Lake Orion has been. So coming into the game again, 409 yards on the ground. You're right. You're going to go to what works for you. And luckily for Orion now, tied 7-7. They get the ball to start the second half.
Dragons will receive. Number 9, Noah Grove, will kick off for Oxford. Going deep, number 25, Matt Krause. And number 3 for the Dragons is Keith Fields. Great setting here tonight. Stands are packed. The sidelines are packed. People have their blankets set out on the hill. We're underway for the second half. Little pooch kick coming down, number 4, Logan Shadia on the return. He's up, number 5, Zach Surzo on the return. Thank you, Chris. And the ball's up over the 45. Dragons will take over, 1st and 10.
I don't know. They've done that a couple times now, Oxford has, and I don't know if the objective is there, but if you're Lake Orion, taking the ball over on your own 45 is not a bad way to start a second half.
No, and I don't know if, obviously they're doing it to keep the ball out of the hands of the speed returners. Dragons take over, 1st and 10. Handoff, Krause up the middle. He's got room. Under the 40, the 35, and down near the 30-yard line. They're going to call him out at the 35. 20 yards on 1st down for Matt Krause.
Lake Orion started off last week, a nice kickoff return, and then boom, a touchdown. Big play, nice kickoff return here. Big play for the Dragons to start the second half.
Dragons go double wide, double slot, Krause up the middle, and he's got maybe 2 yards.
We talked about it last week, turning momentum. Troy stayed in the game at 7-7, and boom, 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 just like that, Lake Orion took advantage and had a great third quarter. You come on the road to a place like Oxford, your big rival, and to be able to put points on the board early in the third quarter would be huge.
Double wide, double slot for the Dragons, motion right. Krause again up the middle. He's got running room. He's over the 25. And 1st down, Dragons.
A little trap play, and as you see, Oxford's making some substitutions. They're bringing some beef up front. They're moving tackles. Noah Goodman, number 79, 5'10", 250, and Tyler Thorne, 6'2", 300. They're putting a little beef up front to hopefully prevent those trap plays for the Dragons.
Number 5, Zach Surzo on the carry. Got maybe a yard and a half.
You're right. For whatever reason tonight, Surzo or Krause, they seem to be twisting and turning and leaning and maybe it's just coincidence or maybe they've been doing it before. But you're right.
They're getting their last half yard backwards. Matt Harris on the last tackle for Oxford. 2nd and 9. Krause again up the middle inside the 10.
Look, boy, oh boy.
Quick hitter, and I'll tell you what, quick hitter is an understatement. That's a speed hit.
Quick hitter, but boy, the surge by Orion offensive line. I mean, there was no blue and gold in the Orion backfield, and as a result, a big play inside the 10, or just at the 10, excuse me.
Once again, up the middle.
John Patrick, number 25, linebacker for the Wildcats, had Krause by the jersey.
Yeah.
There's no way in heck you're going to be able to tackle him, try to drag him back by his jersey.
Patrick on the stop along with number 16, Adam Schlicht, and number 79, Noah Goodman. So brings up 2nd and 7 for the Dragons. Ball's on the 7. Dragons can get a first down without getting a touchdown. Horneffer splits wide to the right. Number 3, Keith Fields on the carry inside. Didn't get much. They're calling it no gain, 3rd down and 5 on the 5.
Come out, set the tone. They've done it to this point. Now the ability to convert.
Plays being signaled in from the sidelines, and the Dragons are going to call timeout. I think there was a little confusion there. The plays are signaled in by Coach Bell and Coach Darren Tooley. They're both given signals. Only one of them means something. And I don't think that that Costas really was clear on the play call.
You know, as tight of a game as this has been to this point in time and so forth, you certainly you don't want to misinform or miscommunicate the play or whatever the situation was. And obviously, you know, probably a very good timeout in that regards. It's a tight game, it's a close game, and you got to take advantage of the field position at this point in time. Don't want any miscues, obviously, and good timeout.
Yeah, touchdowns are going to be at a premium tonight. Both these teams are playing really good defense. So it's 3rd down and 4, they're calling it, from the 4. Double wide, double slot, trips right. One receiver tight on the left side, Krause in the backfield. Number 4, Shadaya on the carry. He's into about the 2.5. They're marking him on the 3. So it's going to be 4th down and 3 from the 3-yard line.
Adam Schlitt, number 16 for the Wildcats, came in and tripped up Shadaya. And it's a number of times tonight where Orion backs have just been tripped up ever so slightly, and
yeah, they're just getting an ankle on them and just enough to let gravity do the rest. So 4th down and 3. Number 90. Who is on that? Number 96. Zach Padson on the carry. Number 98, which I don't have a number 98 on my roster. But whoever carried the ball, the result was the same. They turn it over on downs on the 1.
Well, certainly that's disheartening for the Dragons. You know, that being said, it's one of those situations where, you know what, inside the 5-yard line. You turn it over on downs, and you're questioning whether or not you go for points, you put 3 on the board, or do you?
Well, hang on a second, because they're going to measure this.
You're right. You did talk about that.
I mentioned that they could
That's right.
get a first down without getting a touchdown, and it's Oxford ball.
It's one of those situations, too. You turn it over on downs inside your 5-yard line, and obviously, like I said, it's disheartening to not come away with points. But now you're backing up Oxford way deep into their own side of the field, and it's a matter of not giving up those chunk plays we've talked about a couple times tonight, and staying stout on defense and making plays and getting the ball back.
Stuvenrock is not in the game. Number 25, John Patrick, is the deep back. He gets the carry, and he takes it out to the 5-yard line, and brought down by number 9, Joe Slayton. Gain of 3, it'll be 2nd and 7. Kind of a wishbone look for the Wildcats. Number 25, John Patrick on the carry again, gets a little breathing room out to the 11-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and 1. Yep, they're gonna stop and have a measurement. Nose of the ball is close to the 11. I'm gonna say they're about a half a football short. And I was wrong. First down, Oxford. Well, I would wonder if I could call the thing a half a football short, but then can't pick up a uniform number. So first down for Oxford. They come out in that wishbone look again.
Ooh.
Number 25, Patrick on the carry. And he's dumped by Jack Luby.
When it's all said and done, I think it's probably because you haven't had a lot of experience calling a game on a blue field. What do you think?
That does a lot for it. It's hard to pick up some things on this blue turf.
It does have a different shine to it in terms of the light coming off from the far side.
It looks like there's a perpetual dew on the field. 2nd down and 9. Wellington back to pass, got pressure. He's in the end zone, comes out, throws complete to Patrick, and he's got running room. He's out to midfield, 1st and 10, and the Dragons should have had him for a safety.
Wow. I mean, that's all you can say there. That's just flat out Wallington doing what?
Wallington, that's...
Yeah, I mean... Making a heck of a play, and to me, that you look at, I'm not going to compare him to him, but very Russell Wilson-like on that play. I mean, the ability to avoid pressure, know where he's at on the field, escape and elude pressure, and have the wherewithal to dump it off to Patrick in the flat for a big play. So a huge, again, a chunk play for the Wildcats, and leads them near midfield and first down.
And we have, I think, a Lake Orion player down on the far sideline. You can't see who it is. But, yeah, that is pure athletic ability there to be able to move around. And, again, we talked about it in pregame. He's in his 4th year. Those are the plays that you're going to expect him to make.
Luby and Weglars were there. Like you said, we thought we had him corralled in the end zone, and it just pass rush angles for defensive linemen are so important. Making sure that they understand the angles. Now, I know Wallington was rolling out there, but making sure you're attacking different parts of that quarterback, that ball carrier, so that you don't allow him outside of the fence, so to speak. And Wallington got outside the fence that time and opened it up for a big play.
Jalen Wiggins was the injured player. He's helped off the field. So it's 1st and 10 for Oxford. Handoff. Stubenrock, he's breaking tackles, cuts back, brought down. Jack Luby's in on the tackle. Number 41, Pete Welgarts is in on the tackle. And number 61, Cameron Shadea.
Yeah, Stubenrock's so elusive. Jack McClear had a shot at him way back near the line of scrimmage. And, again, he's so small, so slight that very elusive and very tough to contain somebody like that. And you saw that there with that great run.
Number 14, Zakeem Miller, checks in at a corner spot for Jalen Wiggins. Stubenrock tripped up. Number 61, Cameron Shadaya, in on the stop. That'll bring up 2nd down and 7.
So you see in this third quarter here how momentum can turn on a play, and Lake Orion comes out, has a nice drive, drives it inside the 5-yard line, turns it over on downs, and boom, just like that, 2 plays later, or a couple plays later, Oxford reverses that momentum and are inside the Lake Orion 30.
Wallington looking over the defense, back under center. Stubenrock again. Gets maybe a yard, maybe 2. Cameron Shadaya in on the tackle again, along with number 32, Sean Mercer.
And Lake Orion the first half, a -1 in turnover margin. Yes, you don't count a turnover on downs as a turnover, but when you don't, you get that deep in your opponent's territory, you don't get points. That's crucial. And Lake Orion's got to find a way now defensively to stop stop Oxford and get that football back.
Wishbone look for Oxford, and we have a stoppage of play. Timeout, Oxford.
Boy, Bud Raleigh was very animated on the sideline. I don't know what he's talking.
We got 4:04 left in the third quarter.
Saying a few words to John Patrick.
Well, knowing Coach Raleigh, the message is getting across. As we said, when you're in your 34th year, you get listened to. We will be back at home next week. It's homecoming week. West Bloomfield will provide the opposition. Game starts 7 o'clock at Dragon Stadium, and it will be homecoming.
Dance, parade, football game.
And our whole ONTV crew, and we will welcome back our sideline reporter, Kevin McCormick, who has been conspicuously absent the first home game. Joining us up here in the booth tonight, spotting for us. So 3rd down and 5 for Oxford. Handoff, number 25, John Patrick, and he's got a 1st down. Inside the 20, down to the 16. Flag on the field. We'll check the flag out.
Just a simple power play by the Wildcats, which we talked about them running.
Logan Shadaya is jumping up and down. It's either on him or against Oxford.
Backside guard pulls and
it's against Lake Orion. Face mask on Lake Orion. So that's a 1st down. It could be 1st and goal. I'm sorry, 1st and 10 at the 11. They'll have the same situation Lake Orion had at the other end. They can get a 1st down without getting a touchdown. Wallington brings him out. Wishbone look in the backfield. 25, John Patrick again. The deep back in the wishbone gets the carry over right guard. Picks up about 3. It'll bring up 2nd and 7.
Yeah, Tommy Babbage, number 45, came in, did a nice job of knifing inside gap and making the tackle on that play.
Defensive coordinator Dave Tooley signaling in the defensive alignment. 2nd and 7. Patrick's the deep back. He gets the carry. Again off the right side, gets maybe a yard. They're going to make it 3rd down and 6, it looks like.
In the last 4 plays, they've run that power play out of that same formation. You know, watch out for that Wallington keeper, that Wallington rollout. Again, getting a quarterback like Wallington out in open space. And again, we talk about it all the time, let your playmakers make plays.
Wallington with a final word for Patrick. Up. Wow. Wallington on the keeper. The Dragon defense tackled Stubenrock, and Wallington kept the ball. And how high do you think he went? About 4 or 5 feet in the air?
Well, bottom line, he got into the end zone, and really that play was all set up because, as we just said, 4 plays in a row, they ran the same play out of the same formation, and you know you set a tone, you set a precedent, and then all of a sudden you run the same backfield flow, and you get a guy like Wallington to keep the ball, and he takes it in for a touchdown.
So number 9, Noah Grove on the point after. It's good. 2 minutes and 14 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Oxford takes the lead 14-7, 99 yards in 10 plays. And you can't give up a drive like that.
You can't. And, you know, again, to start the drive, Wallington made a huge play and a throw to the flat to Patrick when it looked like Oregon had a safety. And talk about a momentum shift. You go from maybe being 9-7 Lake Orion to now being 14-7 Oxford. What a shift in momentum, all because of, among other things, but the key factors in that drive, certainly number 10 Wallington down here eluding and avoiding the safety, and then obviously Glacier Wallington down here for the touchdown.
So the Dragons will look to come back. Number 88, Austin McGee, is back deep for the Dragons. We don't know if there's an issue with Matt Krause or not. He was not in on that last offensive series when they got deep into Oxford territory. Another pooch kick. Caught. That's a live ball. Fall on it. Zach Serzo fell on it. When they do that little pooch kick, there is an open area between the first and second lines, and the idea is to drop the ball in there. We always told the up lineman, if you see that ball coming, you don't know what to do, signal for a fair catch, because number 1, they can't hit you if you're signaling for a fair catch. So the Dragons will take over, 1st and 10 on the 31-yard line.
You're also, though, kicking it to one of your fastest players.
Yeah.
Your fastest players in Serzo.
Yeah.
Who's done a nice job of returning the ball tonight, with the exception of that muff.
5 wides for the Dragons. Motion coming. Costas back to pass. Looks. Throws. Serzo dropped it. Number 16, Adam Schlicht on the coverage. I think he just kind of got a little bit in the way of that pass. Little bit underthrown. Zach had to come back for it, and just a little low.
Yeah, a little low. They end up running 4 verticals out of that formation, and Serzo was open. Certainly would have been a tough catch to make. And
5 wides again. number 98, who we don't have on our roster. The only thing that I can think of, because that sure, unless Matt Krause got his jersey torn off and they put another jersey on him, which they can do as long as it's a eligible number. So we just sent our spotter, Kevin McCormick, up to find out from the Lake Orion coaches. Surzo on the carry, cuts it upfield. He's up over midfield and just got tripped up. Number 23, Anthony Chavez Moore on the tackle for Oxford. He slips that tackle and he's got a lot of blue turf in front of him. 1st and 10 for the Dragons. Dragons going no huddle, 3 wides to the left. Surzo in motion, handoff up the middle. It's number 98, whoever that is. We will try to find out who that is. Second down and 6. 1 minute left here in the third quarter. Oxford up 14-7. I totally missed that. I was watching number 98. Who carried the ball?
Zach Surzo.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
He got a first down. I was watching number 8 go off the right, or number 98 go off the right side.
He's carrying the ball and carrying it well.
Handoff up the side, number 3, Keith Fields on the carry, gain of 1. Brings up 2nd and 9, 30 seconds left in the third quarter. Second and 8, they're calling it. This should be the last play of the third quarter. Trips to the left, single wide out to the right. That's got to be Matt Krause, the way he's running. First down over to 20. And in all the mystery about who number 98 is, I completely forgot to chart this drive. That's the end of 3. Oxford leads 14-7. You're watching exclusive coverage of Lake Orion Dragon football here on Orion Neighborhood Television. We'll be right back.
We own a Habitat home.
I love working on my Habitat home.
Soy dueño de una casa de Habitat.
My neighbor is a Habitat homeowner.
Being a Habitat homeowner has changed our lives.
My mortgage payment for Habitat is less than what I paid for rent.
Habitat for Humanity of Oakland County currently has homes available with mortgage payments lower than most rent payments. If you or someone you know needs decent and affordable housing, call 248-338-1843 or visit our website at habitatoakland.org.
Starting the fourth quarter, Oxford leads the Lake Orion Dragons 14-7, and we did clear up our mystery thanks to our spotter, Kevin McCormick. Number 98 is indeed Matt Krause. He got his jersey ripped. Just a minute. Go ahead.
You know, I just...
the PA booth just came over to ask us who number 98 is. And that happens sometimes. You always carry an extra eligible... Well, I used to carry an extra eligible number and an extra lineman's jersey just for that very reason.
Well, I thought it was the University of Michigan Tom Harmon jersey that they ended up giving away, 98, that Devin Gardner wears, you know, so... I thought they anointed somebody to wear that for the second half. But you know what? He's running like Tom Harmon did, and Matt Krause is, and hopefully leading the Dragons to a touchdown here in this drive.
Yeah, 98 is an eligible number. Trips to the left. Surzo in a slot, in a bunch formation on the right. Krause lone back. Number 3, Keith Fields, doesn't get much, maybe a yard. That'll bring up 2nd and 9.
That's the other thing too. We talk about uniforms. I'm not used to seeing Orion in the white tops and the green pants.
That's true. Well, last week they had the Nike jerseys on. Costas under center. Motion. Handoff Matt Kraus inside the 15 to the 14. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 5 for the Dragons.
Gosh, I could probably count on both hands, if not more, at my feet too. I mean, the number of times where they're just one guy away from busting it, and it's a trip up here or a jersey there or whatever it might be, and it just.
And it's just grabbing an ankle or a shoelace or a sock and bringing them down.
Big play for the Dragons.
Scoreboard calls it 3rd and 6. Kraus up the middle, 1st down Dragons. And again, he went in backwards over the 1st down line.
You know, when it's all said and done, who cares how it's done?
1st down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Forward, backwards, sideways, up in the air, it doesn't matter. Bottom line, you move the chains and you're inside the 10.
1st and goal for the Dragons. Ball's marked at about the 8-yard line. Line change for the Dragons.
That's in hockey, I thought, line change. We're not playing hockey.
Change on the line? How's that?
There you go.
Twins right, single wide out to the left. Keith Fields in the slot. Kraus up the middle to the 4. And that'll bring up 2nd down and goal from the nose of the football is right on the 5-yard line.
Matt rushed for 115 yards last week. He's surpassed that here early in the 4th quarter.
Full house look for the Dragons. Kraus around the right side. They got him marked down at the 2. It'll be 3rd down and goal from the 2. So here we go again.
The first touchdown, well, the only touchdown Orion scored to this point was Shadiah from 2 yards out of that full house backfield. Let's see what they decide to do here.
Stopped again. Shadiah on the carry, and he went over the left side and was bunched up there. Gain of about a half a yard. It's going to be 4th down and 1 from the 1.
We were here last drive, Doug. Down inside the 1. 4th
Good.
down.
I hate to think I've been repeating myself. 4th down, ball's fumbled. Costas picks it up.
Boy, I thought that second surge.
The linemen are signaling touchdown. But the officials are saying Oxford ball.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a matter of Costas rushing out of there and pulling out from under center a little too quick. That ball ended up on the ground.
He had the foresight to pick it up and try to rush in, and the middle of the Oxford line just jammed him up. So again, the Dragons turn the ball over on downs. And this is going to drive Coach Bell absolutely nuts. To be on the 1 and not be able to pound it in. Oxford. Studenrock, I've been pronouncing his name all night, on the carry. He's out to about the 4. So they're calling it 2nd and 7 from the 4-yard line.
Back-to-back drives. You get inside the 5, down to the 1 on 4th down. Can't convert.
And as well as the offensive line has played and blocked all year, it's surprising. Second down and 6. Wallington on the give. And no gain.
That being said, too, is it a matter of things have been so good on the ground all year long? Again, coming into tonight's game, over 400 yards averaged on the ground, but maybe the inability to throw the ball allows for defenses conceivably to isolate on a couple things and focus on a couple things, and as best you can, you want to try to maybe not necessarily always provide a 50-50 balance, 60-40 balance, but that being said, the ability to keep defenses off guard somewhat, keeping them thinking by formation and scheme, and that could have something to do with it as well.
Oxford's called a timeout, and going along on that vein, Cameron Costas has done what's been expected of him. I don't think he was expected to come in and go out and win the game, but he's been called on to manage the game. And by and large, he's been able to manage the game. But we've seen two situations here where, for whatever reason, the Dragons have not been able to convert on a 4th down and 1. And I'm sure Coach Bell is going to address that next week in practice. You've got a very good West Bloomfield team coming in next week. They've raised a lot of eyebrows. And they are playing Clarkston.
No, they played Clarkston last week, and they played them real well, real strong. High-scoring affair, but Clarkston ended up pulling away towards the end.
Clarkston is at Stony Creek tonight. So it's 3rd down and 5 for the Wildcats. Wellington keeping, missed a tackle, throws, incomplete. Intended for number 89, unnamed player. And number 14, Zakeem Miller, was in on the coverage for Lake Orion.
And that's a situation there where, again, they almost had Wallington in the end zone for a safety. He's, just a half a step quicker to get to the outside, was able to get a throw off, and fortunately for the Dragons, it was a little low as the crossing route was being run, and Lake Orion gets the opportunity to get the ball back in great field position.
Keith Fields back for the Dragons. This is the first punt of the night. Wellington boots it, kind of a squibbly thing. Fields picks it up, comes around left end, and is buried by number 16, Adam Schlicht. Dragons will take over with good field position at the 33-yard line.
That's a good defensive stance by the Dragons there. Well done. They kept it inside the 5-yard line, and when momentum, the last drive, went back to Oxford's way, Lake Orion did a nice job of containing everything and forcing the punt, the first punt of the night, and Lake Orion's got a short field in which to work.
Right
now it's time to convert.
That's right. There's just one thing on their mind, and that's to score. Matt Krause, single back in the backfield, double wide, double slot look for the Dragons. Keith Fields in motion. Costas back to pass.
Wheel route.
Cerzo's got it, and out of bounds at the 12-yard line. And there's, we talked about that Costas has to manage a game, but right there, good throw.
Managed to throw a great ball to Cerzo running the wheel route.
That's
wide open. If you want to tweak it a little bit, throw it in a little better position so he's got a chance to run it. But hey, nonetheless, first down, big play for the Dragons.
Krause on the carry, gets about 3. That'll bring up 2nd and 7. Number 80, Nick Fox, has got to feel like the old lonesome end because he stands out there split wide, and you know, they're going to throw to him one day. He's a big guy. Busted play. Costas on the carry, and he's buried after about a 4-yard loss. Number 52, Austin Willett-Hunsucker on the tackle for Oxford.
Yeah, some miscommunication somewhere with the play call or the backfield flow. Costas turned to reverse pivot and realized that there wasn't anybody to reverse pivot and pitch to. So it ends up trying to keep it himself and, bring up a long 3rd and long situation.
Fox comes over, splits wide to the right. Number 16, Horneffer.
There's your throw, Coach. There's your throw, Doug. You just called it.
Touchdown, Lake Orion Dragons. Number 80, Nick Fox.
You said they were going to throw it to him one time. Obviously, you can see into the future, and as Costas rolls out, the secondary came forward as if Costas was going to run, and Fox continued to run to the back of the end zone, and you can't miss a 6'4" Nick Fox.
No, you can't.
You can't. Costas found him, saw the field, saw Fox, touchdown, huge play for the Dragons.
And not only that, he did a great job of tiptoeing on the yellow to keep his feet in bounds. Belavacqua in for the extra point. Kick is up. Kick is good. We have 5:17 left here in the 4th. We're tied at 14. Wow.
Sports replays, and you're going to be sure to want to see that touchdown as a replay. Be sure to tune into replays of your favorite games right here on ONTV. Tune in Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 1 p.m. for the most current games in our lineup. Games are also replayed throughout the week, so check your program guide on our webpage at OnTV.org for replay times that best fit your viewing schedule. Also visit our YouTube link for games on demand. OnTV.org. Wow.
33 yards in 4 plays. Nice little play to Nick Fox. And I'm going to make sure I congratulate him next week. That was a nice, good concentration to keep his feet in bounds, and a good pass by Costas too.
Well, what happened on 3rd down? A little miscommunication in the backfield, reverse pivot. There was no one to pitch to. Ended up taking a 4-yard loss. We talked about you talked about managing the game. He managed it very well there because he could have gotten down after that 3rd and 11 play. Comes back and makes a great play. Throws a touchdown to Fox. We're tied at 14.
Belavacqua on the kick.
There's a hole. There's a hole on the edge. And a hold on the edge, too.
There was Stubenrock on the return. Ran out of bounds by number 17, William McDonald. Number 41, Pete Welgarts, and others. We'll check the flag out. Flag is down at the 31-yard line. Usually a block in the back. Holding on Oxford, be a 10-yard spot penalty.
I was talking to Tom Markowski before the game at State Champs Network, and I asked him, hey, what do you think about tonight? Do you think it's going to be a good game? He says, talking to both coaches before the game, he says, I feel like this is the best game of the night in the area. So he's seeing one right now.
There's certainly a
We're
lot
all
of
seeing one right now.
You can see there's a lot of emotion going on the field tonight. 1st down and 27, Stubenrock on the carry. Who's up on the bottom of the pile? Cameron Shadea on the tackle. Jack Luby lost his helmet. He's got to come out for a play.
$14-14. 4:30 left to go in the 4th.
This is why you play football for games like these. Timeout called. Lake Orion. They charged that timeout. They did. They just changed it. Each team has one timeout left. 4:29 left in the game. Oxford's going to be faced with a 2nd and 8 from their own 23-yard line. So, yeah, you want a little drama left? I think you're going to have it in these last 4 minutes. Where do you want to be with 4 minutes left in the game? Do you want to be on offense or do you want to be on defense?
Defensive coach would say, when it's all said and done, I think you want the ball.
You want the ball.
I think you want the ball. So, I mean, very rarely are you going to score points defensively. It happens, but
you look at it both ways. Do you want to sustain about a 4-minute drive down and get the field goal or touchdown at the end of the game, or do you want to be on defense and hopefully hold them to a 3-and-out, get the ball back, and then your offense drives down the field?
Right.
So we'll find out. 2nd and 8 for the Wildcats on the 23. Single back in the backfield. That's Stubenrock.
Quick
Wallington.
Hitch.
Out to Schlick. He's run out at the 45 by Horneffer and number 28, Aaron Hughes. But that's enough for a first down for Oxford.
They've run that little quick hitch to Schlitt twice tonight and completed it successfully.
1st and 10 for Oxford. Hughes runs out to cover the wideout. Handoff Stubenrock. Oh, there was a hold right in front of the umpire, and Stubenrock is gone. Touchdown, Oxford. When he came around, when he went up, it was away from the play, but I think it was number 16, Schlick, just mugged the Lake Orion corner. But it was away from the play. In a situation like that, it's usually not called. So number 9, Noah Grove, will be in for the point after. Schlick will hold. We got a stoppage of play for something.
Just a simple off-tackle power play that Oxford runs so well and has run so well for years. And
they've run it all night long, and they've gotten chunks of yardage on it.
And it's, it's one of those things. They have the mentality that we're going to run it. We're going to run it. You got to stop us. And again, it goes back to what we said at the beginning. Winning your one-on-one battles.
Penalty was on Lake Orion, but it's post-possession, so it's only half the distance. Grove's kick is up and good. 4:01 left in the fourth quarter. Oxford goes up 21-14. Now, we're back to the original question. 4 minutes left. Now we go on offense.
Right. That's why you want the ball, because you score. But I guess if you look at it in a certainly you don't want them to score. But I guess if they are going to take the ball and score quickly, scoring quickly is to our benefit. We get the ball back, we get time to move the ball downfield, and the way Matt Krause and Serzo have been running tonight, they've been running very well, and hopefully, in this drive here, they can put something together where they don't get tripped up, they don't get spun down, and they can bust one off like Stubenrock did there.
79 yards in 2 plays. Matt Krause back deep. Keith Fields is the up back. Serzo and Shadea are up backs. Little pooch kick. There you go. There you go. Fair catch.
See, offensive.
Taken by Logan Shadea. Wise move, because when he caught that, he had a raft of blue shirts around him.
If you're Lake Orion, I think you take that all day. That's pretty good field position.
Absolutely.
And so I consider that a fairly short field in which to work with. Yeah, we look back, and I'm looking back at some of our keys to the game. We talk about, number one, we talked about Lake Orion getting off to an early start. I don't think really either team got off to a quick start, 0-0 after the end of the first quarter. But we talked about the third one, contain Wallington and contain Steuben Rock. And you know what? We haven't been able to do that. Thus, you see the score, 21-14, Oxford.
Kraus in motion, coming around the right side. Gains about 6. See where they mark it.
Yeah, that play just looked like a long time to develop. It looked like Kraus for the longest time was running horizontal, parallel to the line of scrimmage. Schlicht was the one, number 16 was the one that was extending the play and forcing Kraus to run as wide as he did. Nonetheless, he got 5.
Trips to the left, motion left, Kraus up the middle. First down, Dragons. Still moving, Schlicht on the tackle.
I don't care if he's wearing 25. I don't care if he's wearing 90. I don't care what number he's wearing. Oh my gosh, he's fun to watch.
Glacier Wallington also in on the tackle for Oxford. 1st and 10 from midfield.
Yeah, we should have been able to figure that out right away.
We should have. Kraus, after a gain of about 2, stopped by Schlicht and number 86, nameless player. He's in a linebacker spot, whoever he is. So 2nd down and 9 for the Dragons. Costas looking, gonna run, and is hammered down after about a yard loss. Number 80, Matt Marney, came in and just leveled Cameron Costas.
Wallington, the free safety, Surzo was looking to run a post route. Wallington, free safety, stayed on top of that route. The curl route came open a little bit late, but by that time Costas had to.
Costas back to throw, screen, set up to Kraus, slips the tackle, got a first down, still going. Inside the 35, down to the 32.
Well executed play, nice timing, line, nice touch pass by Costas on the screen to Kraus. And as we've talked about for the last couple weeks, watching him run in the open field is pretty fun to watch.
And this time he was able to break a tackle, which, they've been grabbing onto shoes all night. And this time he stepped out of it. Kraus up the middle. Hard running, gets about 4.5 yards. It'll be 2nd down.
Very rarely are you ever going to see Matt Kraus being tackled and going back, getting stood up or going backwards. Everything is forward. Everything is wanting and desiring to get that extra half yard or so.
1:30 left in the game. Dragons down by 7. 2nd down and 5. Costas. Looking.
Flat.
Throwing. Got him. May not be enough for the first down. That was number 5, Zach Surzo. And they're marking him down on the 25-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 3.
Putting that ball just a little bit out more in front of Zach. Surzo allow him to do something with it. That ball was thrown a little behind him. 3rd and 4 is the play.
Under a minute left. Kraus up the middle, cuts outside, gets out of bounds. But not before getting a first down, Dragons.
Great call, great execution, great awareness of Matt Kraus of not only getting the first down, obviously, and yes, the clock stops on a first down, but also getting out of bounds.
Look, I know he wanted to get the extra yards, but there's no shame in getting out of bounds in that situation. 47 seconds left. Ball's marked on the 16-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Dragons.
With only one timeout left for the Dragons, that's a huge play getting out of bounds.
Toss to Kraus, coming left. Gets it down to about the 7. And Lake Orion is going to take their third and final timeout. We have 39 seconds left. Oxford's up by 7.
Well, now ask that question. Would you rather have the ball or be on defense?
Right now,
a little different situation, I know.
Right now, the only thing that's paramount in the Dragons' mind is to get the ball in the end zone. Don't be fancy. Kick the extra point. You've got a great kicker. Kick the extra point. Go to overtime. If they want to do something cute like going for 2, well, it's happened. We've seen it happen before. Ball spotted on the left hash. Double wide, double slot look. Kraus is the lone setback behind Costas. Throws incomplete. Intended for number 80, Nick Fox again. This time he had Glacier Wallington in front of him.
You know what? That's a situation where you're just simply looking at a mismatch. You're missing. You're 6'4" versus 5'10". Throw it up to the big guy. Go up and get that rebound and go get it. And Wallington ends up.
That's height against athletic ability too. Not to say that Nick isn't athletic, but you've got a heck of an athlete out there playing left corner. Costas rolling right, looking, throwing, incomplete. That'll bring up 4th and, what do they call it? 4th and 6 from the 12-yard line. The Dragons can get a first down, and we have 27 seconds left. Okay, Coach, what do you call it?
They call a touchdown.
There you go.
That's what you call. I mean, that's all you can call at this point in time. This is the game right here, and it's. Oxford did a nice job of containing Costas and forcing really nobody to create separation downfield on that little waggle bootleg play.
Now, Max Horneffer is in and split wide left. He is the backup quarterback. Costas back to throw. Got time, looks, throws, incomplete. Ball was intended, I think, for Nick Fox again. And it looks like he was supposed to stop and cut back to the outside, and he cut toward the middle, and the ball was thrown to his right. So Lake Orion turns the ball over on downs. They are out of timeouts. We have 21 seconds left, and Oxford's going to take a knee. And that will be your ball game. The final seconds count off, and what a football game tonight. It's just indicative of this series. Oxford comes away with a 21-14 victory. You're watching exclusive coverage of Lake Orion Dragon football here on Orion Neighborhood Television. We'll be right back.
Enjoy farm fresh produce, baked goods, art, and more at the 2014 Lake Orion Farmers Market sponsored by Crittenden Hospital. Walk, bike, or drive to the Orion Arts Center located at 115 South Anderson Street. Parents can purchase products grown and made locally while kids take part in fun activities like horseshoes and arts and crafts. Come early and come often as vendors change from week to week as new crops come into season. The Lake Orion Farmers Market is held every Wednesday from 2 to 7 p.m. through October 22nd. For more information or to sign up as a vendor, visit downtownlakeorion.org.
After a heartbreaking 21-14 Lake Orion Dragon loss to the Oxford Wildcats, Doug Corliss, Chris Fritching in the booth post-game. And Chris, if you had to say anything about this game, it's missed opportunities by the Dragons.
Missed opportunities getting inside, driving inside the Oxford 5, really to the 1 yard line, I think, both on twice on 4th and 1, and ultimately couldn't convert. Didn't get any points out of either drive, and the first time Oxford turns that around, flips the field, and drives 99 yards for a touchdown. Second time, Orion did a nice job, held him for a punt, and ultimately converted. But when you don't get points inside the 5 twice, that makes things very difficult. And when it's all said and done, that amongst the fact that ultimately couldn't contain Glacier Wallington, who made some huge plays that kept drives alive, and ultimately that last drive, 77-yard touchdown by Studenbacher, ultimately led to the 21-14 loss for the Dragons.
And there was no question about it. This Oxford team came in as advertised. They were strong ground game. Glacier Wallington came as advertised, both offensively and it turned out defensively late in the fourth quarter when the Dragons were trying to score a tying touchdown. So yeah, this was a good football team out here, and it comes exactly what we were told last week by a couple of the Lake Orion assistant coaches, that this was going to be a good test for them because this is a good football team out here.
A very good football team, and like I said at the outset, this is the first time since 2008 they've gone 4-0. And for them, for the Wildcats, that gives them a ton of momentum going into their big game next week versus Clarkston. On the flip side for the Dragons, go 2-2 now and go home for homecoming. And certainly we've talked about in years past about the distractions in and around homecoming. But when it's all said and done, the focus is the football game that night. And they are going against a very improved West Bloomfield football team that they'll see. And certainly Lake Orion has had West Bloomfield's number over the last number of years. But when it's all said and done, Lake Orion's got to find a way to get back on track and salvage and turn this thing around because, last 2 weeks, although they've won, they haven't started out well in those first halves. And it's a good football team, Oxford. But you know what? I think, and no Lake Orion is too. There's a ton of talent on both sides of the football there. We talked about last week how young they were as a group. And part of the evolution process of a football team is taking strides each and every week. And while they came out with a loss tonight, there's certainly things to improve upon, or that they did well, and that they can build upon. And so the coaching staff will, again, as always, take that evaluation, look at the film, break down things, and find out how they can get better and prepare themselves for West Bloomfield next week.
So that'll wrap it up from the booth for our entire ONTV crew, our producer-director Ian Locke, our spotter Kevin McCormick, my broadcast partner Chris Fritching. I'm Doug Corliss. Once again, our final score, the Oxford Wildcats 21, the Lake Orion Dragons 14. Good night, everyone.
ONTV's Game of the Week is underwritten by Melange Palace Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, servicing Lake Orion's automotive needs since the 1960s. Jets Pizza, offering pizzas, subs, salads, and wings with 2 convenient locations in the Orion area. Camp Bow Wow, providing a fun, safe, and upscale environment for dogs to play, romp, and receive lots of love and attention. Be Zany, fun hats, costumes, toys, and party supplies for every occasion. And Classic Lanes, your home for family fun and family entertainment in Rochester Hills.